Good. Okay, I'd like to call a meeting to order. Everybody, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Governor Hochul has lifted the state of emergency, so virtual board meetings are no longer permitted. We'll discuss that under our discussion item. As to the changes, there's a hybrid option that we'll be discussing. Just as a point of information, I'd like to remind our community that all the items that are discussed in public session may be found at the district's board docs website the day before the meeting of the Board of Education, and policies may also be found under board docs under the policy tab. Please contact the district clerk if you have any questions about the agenda items. All right, we'll start with approval of the minutes for August 25th. We have a motion to approve them as written.
I'll move it. Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is carried. And we have the minutes for the September 6th meeting.
Make a motion.
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Those are also approved. And approval of the CSE, CPSE recommendations.
I'll make a motion.
Second by.
I'll second.
Okay.
Thank you.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Those are approved. Public comment, we have none at this point in time. No one here from public. I'll let you catch up, and we're under discussion items. So under discussion items, the Distinguished Service Award nominations are in our folder tonight. Please let Ms. Strainer know your first and second choices prior to our next meeting. I think you prefer to have those emailed to you?
Please.
Okay, so if everyone can just email her your first and second choices prior to the next meeting. Our Scholastic Achievement Ceremony will be held on Wednesday, November 9th, and that will be a dessert.
Mm-hmm.
And the timing on that again?
6 o'clock in the high school gym.
Thank you. This Thursday, we're scheduled for a policy committee meeting at 5 o'clock. That's going to depend on whether or not Dr. McDonald can make that or not.
We may need to postpone that, but we'll decide that come Thursday.
And then Governor Hochul has lifted the state of emergency declaration. Oh, excuse me, I'll go back to the curriculum committee is going to meet on Tuesday, October 11th at 4:30. And then just want to announce that Governor Hochul has lifted the state of emergency declaration. Therefore, we're going to need to pass a resolution that will allow us to use a hybrid option for meetings. And that is in case of an unexpected event that any board member needs to participate virtually while a quorum of the board is physically present. So it used to be that you had to publicly announce where your board member was going to be, and it had to be a publicly open place for that board member to attend.
Correct.
Now this option is allowing us, under public officers law, to be able to, if you're sick or something like that, to be able to participate remotely, but we have to have at least 4 here with a 7-person board to be able to do that. And then that location is not open to the general public. So we'll have to, if you guys are in favor of that, we would have to direct Dr. McDonald to put together a resolution stating that we will allow that.
Correct, and we have to have a public hearing on that as well.
Is that a 30-day?
I don't know, that's one of the things he'll have to check.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's worth pursuing. You typically don't get in those situations, but you never know.
Right.
It could happen.
Well, the biggest thing is it would allow you to participate because you still have a quorum here.
Yep.
So it still allows you though to be able to participate. Yep. Would that allow the voting ability too or not?
We'll have to look into that. I'm assuming it would, Kevin, but I'm not positive about that. So we'll definitely do the research under that to see if that is the case. because they have a quorum here, it makes me wonder whether or not that quorum is representing your vote count or not.
It should, because you have to be able to see and hear the board member who's participating virtually. It would be the same as the previous allowance, except in this case, your location would not be open to the public to attend.
I was thinking under the previous, you didn't have the ability to vote.
No, you did.
Under the
You
emergency
did.
declaration,
Yes,
we
you
did. That's
Okay, under the
that's how-
emergency.
Yeah, under the
Alright.
emergency declaration. When they revoked the emergency declaration, they added this hybrid option. So we'll iron out all the details. If everybody's in favor of going that way, we'll get those questions answered on behalf of that and go from there. But the biggest change, as I understand, I think Ron and I were talking about it, is that you don't have to be in a public space if you're the one video conferencing in. Just a reminder that Wendy DeWind will be joining us on November 15th, along with Catherine Gavitt of Ferreira and Forenza. At that point, Wendy will also be a part of that company, so that will be representing our new law firm. Just get set up. Do we have any correspondence, Corey?
No, we do not.
No. Okay. Additions to the agenda?
We do not have an addition to the agenda, but I want to bring it to the board's attention that we did delete the capital project phase 2 change order, which was initially in your packet. You had approved an initial change proposal on August 25th, and because you did that, the formal change order did not need to be approved again, but it does need to be signed, and that is in your folder.
Okay, on to the consent agenda. Under consent agenda, we have the financial reports, which is the claims auditor reports from August 9th. Declare surplus. These were desks and chairs, 19 student desks, one cot, one letter trained student chairs, 20 student chairs. Approve the amendment, which basically is the Bassett Sports Medicine Agreement that extends it for the 2022-2023 year, extending from last year's. Personnel appointments. We have Rachel Westerfeld, long-term substitute teacher, Medicine Sarah teacher, and Medicine Sarah teacher aide. And the personnel athletic recommendations, which are the school keepers and clock operators for the 2022-2023 school year. And that's quite a list, actually, of volunteers for that, so that's excellent. And that is our consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion.
I didn't hear anything mentioned with the Bassett Sports Program. Did you skip over that?
Which one's that? The Bassett sports program was the that approval I was talking about. It's a 1-year extension. They take the same terms from last year, which allows Bassett Sports Medicine Program to be here in the school. And I know some athletes that have actually utilized that, and that's a very beneficial service.
Okay. I just didn't hear it when it went down the list.
Yep. Any other further discussion on the consent agenda?
I'll second Rhonda's motion.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is carried. Under new business, we have accepting donations. We have $1,000 from the Headwaters Soccer Program to the soccer program, $100 from Thomas and Roberta Austin to the AVP program, and 11 backpacks filled with school supplies from Stacy Marino to the Townsend Elementary School.
Make a motion to accept those.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. We have emergency appointments under personnel, Lisa Curtin as part-time school monitor, and Christina Ball for teacher aide.
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Personnel appointments of Linda Alvarez as cashier, Bobby Wright as part-time food service helper, and Chelsea Darling for teacher aide.
Motion.
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Those are carried. And then finally, we have a correction of probationary appointment for Emily Clerkin. And I believe this was shortening the probationary period due to credits from being received from her formal school.
Correct. She brought in proof that she was previously tenured.
Make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is carried. And under policy update, Sir Wood.
Okay. This is just the policy reviews that come up periodically. So policy number 1900, parent and family engagement. Policy number 5030, student complaints. 5800, student contests and awards. 6690, audit committee. 6700, purchasing. 6751.1, uniform guidance, internal controls. 9120, extracurricular personnel, ECP code of ethics. 9121.1, conflict of interest. 9140.1, staff complaints and grievances. 9150, staff student relations, and 9645, disclosure of wrongful conduct.
So you get a chance to review those on your own, and if you have any questions or want to discuss those at any point in time, bring it to us and we'll definitely discuss them. Policy committee this Thursday, Paul, may be dependent on meeting whether Dr. McDonald is back or not, because he is sick, so we're not sure if he's going to be here for that Thursday, so Corey's going to let us know.
And that was at
So we may
5:30, right?
postpone it. 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
5.
And we're up to administrative remarks, so we're going to turn it over to our principals. Let's see, we'll start with Adam. Okay, perfect.
All right, things are off to a good start in the middle school. Been able to get up and running with quite a few different electives that we've been talking about for a while, and the kids seem to really like them. And the educational piece also is important. It's not just only about fun. So,
Got to keep them engaged.
Yes, absolutely. We've also started our advisor adventures, so the 6th grade went up to the Upland Center last week. On Friday, our 8th graders go to Camp Hilltop every year and do the high ropes course and the big swing, and that's Friday. Then the following week, the 7th graders go on there, which is, it's a neat opportunity. It's team building, it's problem solving, it's a chance for the teachers to really get to see the kids in a different light than just as a student. You know, it's a huge piece of our SEL, you know, social emotional learning to make those connections with the kids. And on the athletic side of things, we're off to good starts with all of our sports. Our numbers are good. You know, the merger with Downsville helped our soccer numbers, where we would have been right on the edge, especially modified. Right on the edge of being able to field the team without that. I think at this point, it's the earliest that I can remember that all of our varsity teams have won contests. You know, usually there's a team or two who doesn't start off as strong, and at this point, every one of our varsity teams has won, and in a lot of cases, won multiple games.
Excellent. Thank you.
Elementary is pretty much similar. We have a really good start to our year. Our new PK program is really impressive. From going from a half day to a full day, the little kids are really pulling off, transitioning outside, going to specials. They didn't have any of that before. They're doing very well. So kudos to the kids and the teachers. It's going very well. They had their open house on September 1st to get all the families in, meet the teacher in the classroom, so I'm sure that has helped a lot. And our next open house is September 29th for kindergarten through fifth. So things are looking good.
Great, thank you.
The high school has started a couple different new things. You can see in my report, the tutoring in the middle of the day and the esports. Both are going well in the high school, but the main thing I want to highlight is that this is one of the most exciting weeks in the high school. It's homecoming week. We have several contests leading up to Saturday. Friday we have soccer, boys soccer home, and then Saturday we have varsity field hockey and varsity football home. And that's on Saturday morning, we have the parade that starts at the bus garage at 9 a.m. And then we also have the dance in the middle school gym for our high schoolers. And that's capped off with our Orange Crush toast to our homecoming court. And so if I see you there, have fun and enjoy.
Great.
We actually had all our varsity teams scheduled for a home game, and then something happened with one of the volleyball. I think it's Friday night also.
I didn't.
But anyway, and then we had to change the schedule because of something out of our control. So I'd like to say it was all part of, Zach and my master plan as athletic administrator. But it was kind of dumb luck, so.
Take credit whenever
I
it
know.
comes, that's all.
Good point. Just that it was definitely our master plan.
We're hoping to bring more people in. We actually tied in our class reunion for homecoming weekend, first time ever, so.
See how that goes. A lot of districts do that every year.
Yeah, we're hoping that, I think we're gonna have a small turnout just because people weren't expecting it, but, I hope that a lot of people will still come and participate in the other things, so we'll see.
I got a chance to see the girls soccer team play here a couple weeks ago out there, and they had a good turnout. I thought there was a great fan base. Of course, the other sports are drawing fans as well, so it's good to see people out and about again in our community supporting the athletics in the district. So,
Just a quick question. How is the soccer merger working well?
There's, as we knew there would be, there's definitely some hiccups here and there, but up to this point, it's been relatively smooth considering some of the things that I was kind of prepared to potentially deal with, if that makes sense. So, there's definitely some things, moving forward we'll have to look at. And, Dr. McDonald mentioned it when he and I were chatting the other day that at the end of the season, we'll prepare a kind of a report with the numbers and, so the board can have a chance to look at it and see how it went. The boys team's off to a fantastic start. They're undefeated and upset Acton Harpersville, who, from what I understand, was state ranked at the time. And the girls started off a little slower, but they're competitive in every game, and that hasn't been the case, especially in the recent history. So.
Well, anytime you make a merger, doesn't matter what sport it is, there's gonna be
Absolutely.
some things to work out the first year, that is for sure. So.
I know I've talked to a few of the different athletes, and they're very thankful to be competitive with that merger. They said that's brought a whole new level of interest and reinvigorated the team, so that's a good positive. You just work out some of the other snafus here and there and look at it on a year-to-year basis.
Which are things you're gonna have no matter when you try something new.
Yep.
Absolutely.
It's never perfectly smooth. I mean, there's
And we avoid a
growing
lot of
pains.
things with being proactive, but
Right.
can't avoid everything.
No, exactly. Well, you can't see everything coming. I mean, it's just, so.
Okay, no, Dr. McDonald. Rick, do you want the floor for a second?
I do not. I'll save it for a couple weeks.
And Dr. McDonald.
Cliffhanger. Thanks.
All right, I was trying to see if we had anybody else that wanted to speak. If not, there's no need for an executive session, so I would entertain a motion to.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Yep.
Opposed? Okay.
Huh.